In today's silliness, I finally get round to preparing the boat for painting. We go for a short cruise, and we also ask the question, do swans like GRP boats? Now then, welcome to the video. As ever, a big thank you to all you likers, watchers and subscribers, new and old. And we're especially grateful to those of you who take time out of your busy schedules to comment on the things that we get up to on this channel. And to the usual gang who always comment on every video we do, I hope you've had a good week. If you've got out to say, you've got any questions, or even a suggestion for things that we can get up to on this channel, why not stick them in the comment box wherever YouTube's put it this week, and I'll do my very best to get back to you. Oh, just one more thing. If you enjoy this video, why not give it a like? Subscribe if you want to see more, and if you click that little bell icon-y thing, well, YouTube will mind you next time we release one. In today's video, well, it's a bit of a mix-up really. I did some recording of a cruise the other week, and unfortunately my GoPro decided not to record any of it. So I only got a couple of minutes that I did on my phone. So I finally managed to get around to prepping the boat ready for painting. So we're going to show you a bit of that. Let's crack on. To prepare the boat, I used a mixture of powered and hand tools. For the front section you'll see coming up, I used my little Makita 18 volt battery powered orbital sander, and the other section I used my 230 volt orbital sander, and I used my Honda generator to power that sander. For the areas that were particularly flaky and rusty, at the bottom near the gunnels, I used my Makita grinder. It's an 18 volt battery operated grinder, and I put on it a 120 grit sanding wheel. For the areas where I couldn't get any of the powered tools in, I used just 120 grit aluminium oxide paper, and I did it by hand basically. I began the process by sanding down loose and flaking paint and the rust spots just near the gunnels there, you can see, but this is some further up on the sides, and I used the grinder with a sanding disc for that. I take the paint off back to bare metal and then try and feather it in to the old paint that's on there. I don't want to take it all off, it'll take forever, but I don't want to leave a ridge, so I pay particular attention to that, and you will notice as I go along that I pay particular attention to the stripes as well. The striping in usually leaves a raised edge, which when you paint over it you can see. We're not sure whether they're going to put those, well, we weren't at the time, we think we are now. We weren't sure whether we were going to keep those stripes on, so I really made sure that I sanded them down well. For the rest of the paintwork, you can see there I'm using my battery powered orbital sander. I sanded down this first section using that, and I changed the pads quite regularly because I found that they start to clog up quite quickly. Marine paint seems to be really tough. I suppose it has to be. It has to put up with all sorts of weather, and it's always outside, so there you go. As you can see, the boat moved around quite a bit. I don't know whether it was me shoving it or there was Debbie walking up and down inside. She was doing her bits and bobs in the boat, but it was quite windy as well, so maybe that was pushing it around, but it can be a bit of a pain in the bum, to be honest. And you can also see that I'm not wearing a dust mask or ear defenders. I'm outside, so the dust isn't really that much of a problem. I've got a dust bag on the sander itself. It's actually really good, that one on the Makita. The one on the Lancaster one wasn't as good. There was a lot more dust getting through the bag. And I'm not using ear defenders because, again, I'm outside and it's quite noisy anyway. So, and that sander actually is a bit quiet. As you can see, I'm being quite methodical with the way I'm doing it as well. I'm picking a section and moving along the whole lot of that section, and then when I bend down I do the same thing. I move all the way across. You can see I'm paying particular attention there to that little stripe, and then we move across like that and the boat goes with us. With sanding it like this, I'm trying to get rid of every brush mark, every sag, every run, every rust spot, every ridge. Everything has got to come off, every imperfection completely. I don't want to leave anything on that will show through the new paint that I'm going to put on top of it. Paying particular attention there on the gunnels to the top bit there, getting rid of the flaky paint and what have you. And the reason why I'm just taking the paint and giving it a rub down and not taking it all off is that it's very expensive to take every bit off, and sometimes you just don't need to do that. So I'm going to give it that dull look. It's got a good key, and then when I wipe it down I can put a coat straight on if I want, or I can leave it for a bit. It won't do any harm. I'm going to treat all the rust spots, so there should be no new rusting to start. And what I'll do is, before I coat it up, I'll give it another quick go over with a sandpaper, just to remove any things that get in there, any imperfections, and I'll give it another coat of rust treatment, just to make sure that I've got the best protection I can get it. There we go, just that section now quite done. And what I'm going to do next is just get the grinder out again and go over a few spots that I noticed while I was rubbing down those gunnels. Yeah, it's thirsty work all that, but when it's done it looks pretty good. We'll just keep checking, make sure we've got every last little bit off. So now that's all rubbed down and finished, I've swept it off, and as you can see I'm now using a little bit of terps, a little bit of white spirit with a bit of rag, and I'm just cleaning off to get rid of all the dust. It'll get rid of most of it. I could wash it down, but what I don't want to do is introduce any water onto the bare metal bits, so I thought I'll clean it down with that, and then it'll be ready once it's dried out for a coat of the rust treatment, the rust killer. So with that all dried off, I then got some of the rust treatment and started, as you can see, with a brush, just applying a little bit to the sections where bare metal was and any rust was, and that dries out in about 15 minutes or so, and it's recoatable within an hour usually. As you can see, I've done quite a few spits and spots there. As for the rest of the boat, I used the big orbital sander there. I would show you, but it's just the same as what I did with the little one, just a bit quicker and louder. And with that all finished, I just washed out the tub and the brush in water and put them away for ready for use for next time. There we go, all prepped and ready for painting. Well, that side is anyway. Other side to go yet. Anyway, alas, that is only a 14-day mooring. A beautiful spot, but we must move on. As my stupid GoPro didn't record any of that, I only have a little bit off the phone. So that's what's coming up now. But first of all, let's have a look at where we went. Well, that pesky little pointy screwdriver pencil seems to have gone AWOL. And I can't find the original pointy screwdriver. So I'm having to resort to the cousin of the pointy screwdriver pencil, the pointy hammer pencil. There we go. We begin today's journey just here, Kellett Lane Bridge, Bridge 130, and we're heading south in the direction of Carnforth. We've got to stop and get some water, empty the loos, the bins and the rubbish, but it's a short but really nice journey down underneath the M6 motorway, and then underneath the A something 6. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it actually. I'll have to put that in afterwards, but there's a little runoff bit there which I show on the video, and then we head through into Carnforth itself, stopping right just here at the services to get the water and what have you, and then we moored just a little bit back. It's a 7-day mooring. We settled in, had a peaceful evening, and after a busy week, quite a nice weekend. Moving on Sunday, heading further south. Let's crack on. It's Sunday the 8th of May, a glorious day, it's beautiful. We're just near Cape and Ray and we're moving on to Carnforth for today. Even though we haven't hit summer yet, we've still got quite a lot of growth on the canal, which is kind of making it thinner. We've got it either side, if you can see there. So we just have to hope we don't meet anyone coming the other way, because no doubt Laura will head straight for him, and if it's a GRP there's going to be a lot of mess. There's sheep's in the field. There's some moo cows back there as well. So behind us there, that's Cape and Ray. There, drakes I think they are, yeah, and they were just floating around having a mooch about, seeing what's what. And here we have that motorway bridge. It's the first one. The second one's for the A601M. It's a junction, and it's split in two, so you've got a little gap in between. There seemed to be a lot of, well, a little bit of duckweed, but a lot of it was grass clippings and such and the like. I think they've been doing a lot of mowing down the towpath. They seem to have started cutting it down quite low again this year. I'm not sure whether that's going to be what they do for the whole thing, but certainly didn't have to make a mess of the canal. Now to me, some of them trees look a bit dead. Here's that gap between the two roads that lead off and onto the A601M. I'm not sure what the technical name for this thing is, but it seems to take water away from the motorway and the fields and put it into the canal. Now, I'm not just showing you a film of a random hedge. If you listen carefully, you can hear the birds twittering. There's a fair few rabbits round here and all over the shop they were. I'm not sure I'd be right happy with having rabbits in my garden, but each to their own. Now, before you all rush off and do something far more important than watching this video, let's answer that question we asked right at the beginning of this video. Do swans like GRP boats? He's a grumpy beggar. He chased one off the other day as well as it went by. Hey, I don't know. So we once again mercifully bring another video to a grinding halt. But before we go, let's have a look at what's coming up next time. Here's a sneaky peek. Oh, beauty on the boat. That's it, you can finally go. If you made it this far, have an extra bicky with your tea for me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, bell icon-y thingy, and that's everything on my list, so I reckon we'll call it a draw for this one. Till next time.